Hey, welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Today, talking in the world of basses, looking at the American Professional 2 Jazz Bass from Fender. Price point $17.99 with a hard shell case. I'll tell you everything you need to know about this bass. Of course, we'll talk bench specs, but then we're gonna let John Lauler, bass extraordinaire, plug this in and bring it to life for you. Remember, if you're in the market for any new gear like this bass, click to buy using our link. You're gonna get really easy payment plans, makes buying new gear really easy, fast free shipping. You support us directly when you buy using our link, helps us keep making these videos. Check out the comparisons of the American Professional 2, the Fender Player, and the Squier Classic Vibe series. Check out those videos on our channel, so make sure you subscribe. Without further ado, let's get to work. Check it out. The Jazz Bass from Fender, beauty. Let's do it. Pro 2 Jazz Bass, nut is 1.5 inches. First fret 0.75 inches, up to a 12th fret of 0.86 inches. Both the American Professional 2 offered in rosewood. For the fretboard, Player Series has a Powell ferrule option in place of rosewood. Bridge pickup is 6'8", 3/4 combined. Neck is 6'7". Pro 2 Jazz comes in at 9 pounds 4 ounces, so 9.25 pounds. And so as we move over to the Jazz Bass, John, do you have any just quick thoughts from a discussion of the P bass versus Jazz Bass?
You know, the main thing I look for is like I want a good feel and a well-balanced jazz bass with a little bit more definition in the mids that you don't get with the P bass. Main thing I look for is just balance in the jazz bass. You know, the thing is, like, the P bass has like a very defined tone that is less versatile than the jazz bass. So I'm listening to see if I can get a pseudo P bass tone, and then also like kind of where I can go from there. Like, can I get that burpy Jocko thing? Now, unlike the P that we saw in this same series, like, I do feel like I am gonna need to make a couple of adjustments to my tone overall to get a little bit more definition where I need it out of that low end. And then, like, yeah, I mean, action's definitely a little bit higher on this one. So out of the box, I would say definitely want to bring the action down a bit. Wonder how the neck's looking. It's looking okay. But overall, really good. I'm surprised that is the full tone knob. That's the tone knob all the way up. So that's actually a pretty warm sound for a jazz bass.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, like, that's that. Now we're getting somewhere. That's what I'm talking about with balance. So yeah, this is a good balance, you know. It got a lot of definition up there. Jocko. Typically on a jazz bass, I find myself wanting to like take it to gigs where I'm soloing more like fusion settings. So I am paying attention to that area of the bass a little bit more. You know, the versatility is there.
Will you tell us what you're playing through, John?
Yeah, I'm playing through a dark glass micro tubes. These are some bad little dudes here. And then this is my first time actually playing out of a dark glass speaker cabinet too, and you know, I really like it. You know, like I said, versatility is king, and for me, like, dark glass is a particularly well, like, balanced amp. You know, I find myself, even with these tone settings, like, I'm barely adjusting, you know, from their you know, just standard 0. And I'm really impressed with how much of that natural sound of the bass comes out of this instrument, you know, this amp. Geezer Butler. Yeah, that sounds really good. I definitely like the way this bass sounds like more for that like rock tone, you know. It has a really nice tone to it. I definitely think that's, to me, a little bit more of what makes the difference with the jazz bass versus the P is just all that like mid and high pops. And
So for a driven rock tone, you think maybe the jazz
definitely
takes
the
it there?
jazz, yeah, definitely I would say like the jazz bass is more of that rock tone.
Cool.
You know, that, and again, like that's what's nice about a good jazz bass is, you know, you can get that great rock tone, but you can also go in and you know, you can get that warmness. Not as much warmness as the P, but definitely getting close, you know.
Cool. Well, should we hear it behind the track here?
Sure.
I could hear the distinct voice coming out of this one, though, especially like you said, if you're playing a lot more lead lines or kind of jumping out of the mix a little bit more.
Exactly. Like I think like, you know, there's a real big advantage for getting a lot of that fusiony stuff. Like when I think jazz bass, I think Jocko, but also I think, you know, jazz bass, I think Geezer Butler, Chris Squire and stuff like that. So, you know, there's a lot of versatility here. And again, like you can't go wrong with a good jazz bass, and this is definitely one of them. Out of the box, you know, definitely some action issues. The neck is perfectly straight and it's of good quality. I would say this feels, you know, like your standard jazz bass neck. You know, it's not like 80s, 90s, you know, going forward from there. So it feels like just your everyday jazz bass. And I think like the biggest difference, again, when you get to these American models is the quality of a lot of what's going on inside, the electronics and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what you're looking for in terms of balance. This one, again, same exact problem, just a little bit body heavy. I will say it's much lighter than I would have expected from an American series. This feels like a Mexican or a jazz in terms of the weight, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I definitely see this as a bass I'd take with me on a lot of the, you know, jobbing stuff that I do or TV stuff. Like this would be the bass. So you know, it being on my shoulders for a 4-hour gig or a private event or a wedding or something, like it being a little bit lighter isn't so bad. So, you know, yeah, I think it feels great.
Great. Yeah. Well, the Jazz is at $17.99. The P bass is at $17.49. They come with a hard shell case. Now we can move over to the Player Series, which is priced at $7.99. So figure about $1,000 less. These are made in Mexico, and we can start to take a look and get a sense of the feel difference in those. So we'll move over to that series.
Sounds good.
All right, let me know. What do you think of the American Professional 2 Jazz Bass from Fender? Price point $17.99. Is it worth the money? Beauty. John really brought it to life. Thank you, John Lauler, for demoing the bass for us. You'll see him more on the channel as we bring more bass reviews to you. You can check out our reviews on this guitar, the P bass in the same series, and then also the series from Fender Player Series and the Classic Vibe from Squier. All worthy comparisons and all something you should check out and consider. Thanks for being here on the channel. Click to buy gear using our link, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for hanging out.